Welcome everyone. Today we'll have a guide video on how to improve your damage. And if done correctly, you can potentially increase your damage by 200 or even 300%. So let's have a look at the summary I have prepared, then we'll go into the in-game videos to demonstrate some of those methods. First of all, most of us will go into max level your character and weapon. The maximum character level and weapon is bounded by your current adventure level. So the higher adventure level you are, the higher you can limit break your characters. Next up, we have artifacts that boost attack stats. Because we're focused on damage, we should look for substats that also boost with attacks. If you want a detailed guide on artifacts, I do recommend checking out my previous video that explains everything about artifacts. As a simple summary of artifacts, every 4 levels will get 1 substats, and this can render up to 4 different stats. Sometimes we can get attack percentage, physical damage increase, sometimes we can get something that is more attack scaling. There is one stat with artifacts which I'll touch on in another guide. It's energy regeneration. Currently, I'm running an energy regeneration build with Venti, and it's extremely powerful. There's a lot of control, a lot of damage, and I am able to get so much energy with my build that I can cast my ultimates consistently. Next up, we'll look at elemental combos. This can be buffs and debuffs, and also how to avoid enemies that elementally counters you. As a great example, the slimes that you face, say a fire slime, the fire slime is immune to fire damage. Your normal attack will still work, but the fire damage you deal does not work. This is similar to most of the elites and world boss we'll encounter. My next recommendation is to try different team comps. Most of us are using 4 different elements, and this gives 15% resistance to all elements. But what you can try is, you can try the amino combination with reduction to stamina cost, movement speed, and also cooldown reduction. There is also 2 cryo, which increases the critical rate of your units attacking the enemy that is affected by cryo. And followed by that, there is also pyro that increases the attack damage by 25% of your team. Something that is often underrated is the rotation of units, skills, and cooldowns. What I mean by those is, you should have a good skill rotation which allows you to start the fight with your debuffs, then followed by combos of damage, then remember what cooldowns are ready and how to cast your ultimate. And also have a good rotation. So every few seconds I'm casting a spell, and every few other seconds I'm coming back to different characters for different spells. As we go deeper into skill rotations, I'll also show you guys my energy regeneration build, which uses 2 of the same element, plus items, artifacts, and weapons to maximize energy regeneration percentage. Lastly, the talent function in the game allows us to unlock characters as we increase its level cap. And as we increase the level cap of the character even further, we can level up certain skills, and this will increase our damage output for that particular character by 10 to 20%. And the higher level cap we break through the character, the higher the skills can be leveled up to level 15. And this becomes available as you go higher with adventure level. Upon reaching adventure level 25, I was able to awaken or limit break my character for the 2nd time, making my characters level 50. And this allows me to level up the skills to level 2, which increased my overall damage by another 10 to 20%. Coming into the game now, you can see my main character, which is Venti, is currently level 50. He also have the best weapon I can find for him, which is at level 50. This is also the max level weapon for my current adventure level. The next time I can level those up, I have to be adventure level 30. So this is the first step we can increase our damage. Followed by that, we can now go into the artifacts. You can see some of my artifacts are enhanced to level 12, and some other artifacts are enhanced to level 4. What's happening is, at the start of the game, this is the first artifact I have acquired. And because it's got flat attack stats, and at the start, percentage doesn't do that much because I don't have enough damage. But as I go deep into the game, I actually want to look for percentage damage. But keep in mind, the feather section of the artifact always roll into flat attack. So what you want to look out for is for the substats that gives critical rate, attack percentage, critical damage, and sometimes you can want some other stats that's useful. It is very important to know which artifact have what potential stats. Over here, as a quick summary, we know the feather artifact only rolls into flat attack as main stats. And similarly for the flower artifact, they can only roll into flat HP as main stats. After those 2 artifacts, the other artifacts can roll into any of the stats. You can see that I'm currently using the attack percentage on the mask. Followed by that, I'm also using a goblet for attack percentage, and also I'm using the timepiece for attack percentage. So those 3 you can roll into other stats. There is definitely a lot I want to talk about with artifacts, so what I'll do is I'll make another guide fully focused on the best stats for artifacts, for the main stats, for the sub stats, which we can see over here like critical percentage, critical chance, and also what we can do is we'll look for the best stat bonus for the characters on another guide. Now let's have a look at the battle replay, which I demonstrate my use of elemental combos, which I debuff enemy with superconduct that reduces their armor, and also I'm using 2 Amino on the team, which reduce my cooldowns. After that, I'll try to go through my skill rotations, and what do I mean by don't save them and don't waste them. I will not be saving my ultimate, and also I won't be wasting some of the crucial spells, maybe healing, maybe other things. It really depends if I know I can get the elemental energy back. So here we're starting a dungeon, which is a level 35 dungeon. I'm currently level 40, so the dungeon monsters are pretty evenly matched to me. At the very start, I'm going to cast my ultimate, and after casting my ultimate, I have a good chance of dragging enemies together, also starting a few of the swirl effects depending on the enemy's element. The swirl effects activates a few of the elements. Here, let's have a quick look of that. By starting off with the Amino attack, I can activate Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electric elements on the enemy. This will start a damage combo right away. After that, what I'll be looking for is I'll be looking forward to make my Superconduct. As I create Superconduct, the defense will reduce. Followed by that, I'll start to rotate my skills. So you can see I actually swapped into Vessel to start her EX skill, which allows for a bird to debuff enemies. And at this moment, I actually cast the Jin's ultimate to get a bit of damage buff and also to heal the whole team. After that, I'll go into my Cryo character, which is Chung-In. And now you can see there are multiple debuffs on the enemy, and the biggest one is Superconduct. This reduces the armor. And after that, the fight is quite simple. The biggest highlight I want to show you guys is I actually started with the fight with my ultimate, and I actually able to cast 2 ultimates within a fight. There are 2 in-game mechanics that actually make this possible for us to cast multiple ultimates within a fight. This is very high in damage and very good in controlling. So let me show you guys those 2. First of all, having Jin and Venti on the team means I have better exploration potential, I move faster to dodge enemy casting or maybe AoE spells, also my cooldowns are reduced by 5%. The 5% cooldown reduction might not seem to be a big deal, but this is actually a very important part for me to cast constantly. So knowing the effectiveness of having 2 characters of the same element on the team, we can have a look at 2 Geo for the attack damage increase while protected by a shield. Noel can provide a shield very easily. After that, we can go with 2 Pyro for the increase of attack by 25%. Then we can consider the cooldown reduction on the Amino for the 5% cooldown. Or we can consider increasing the energy gain of having 2 electric units on the team. Finally, we can gain 15% critical chance with the 2 Pyro characters as long as we can consistently debuff enemy with Cryo. After my party resonance, I want to emphasize on the sub stats of my weapon. I'm currently getting about 40% energy bonus recharge as I acquire energy. And this also increases the energy I regain from the 6 energy from my weapon's special effect. So a lot of things are building towards critical chances, the energy regen, then bonus energy regen. Finally, having 2 of the Amino characters on the team means Jen and Venti will regen energy for each other. As you deal elemental damage to the enemy, we'll start to create those wind particles and increase my energy for my ultimate. If you find yourself frequently short of energy to cast your ultimates, make sure you consider the timepiece over here with a clock artifact and go into bonus energy recharge. By leveling this artifact to maybe level 4 or level 8, you can gain a lot of energy percentage. The last part we'll touch on is going to be talents. Over here, you can see the talents in the character selection screen, right above portfolio. By clicking onto talent, what you can see is you can see most of my talents are currently level 1, and by clicking onto them, I have a chance of upgrading it. There are some materials that is needed to upgrade it, and this is why sometimes you should be farming that particular material dungeon. And we'll touch this on as a guide, how to use your stamina correctly. For now, you ideally would have some of the items just because you try those dungeons out once or twice. But as you click onto those items, you can see where to farm those items on the dungeons, and make sure you do collect a few, because it costs 3 each for each of the skills. And ideally, we want to use at least 9 of those items for each of the characters. So by leveling them to level 2, each of those increase by about 4 to 5%, but in total, they actually add up a lot. So that's why I say it's about 10 to 20% boost of damage. So similarly, I'll go to my Venti's spellcasting, and you can see this increased by another 20%. And finally, I can increase my ultimate damage by another 3%. So overall, we're getting a really good value out of the leveling system. This is only available after achieving Adventure level 25 and unlocking your character's maximum level from level 40 to level 50. To summarize this video, there's a lot we can work on in the game to increase our damage. Firstly, we can go into the basic stats with character levels, weapons, percentage of artifact, the attack stats of artifacts, and then we can go into the fun part. This is where you create your elemental combos and synergies, and then start trying different party setup and see what skills combination works for you. It is the best way you actually experiment those things yourself, and this is where the joy of discovery and gaming comes from. And if you're not sure if you're doing correctly, check out the numbers you're dealing out. Are you doing better numbers than before, or are you doing less numbers than before? And if you have more questions in the game or on your build, let us know. We also have a Discord channel ready for Genshin Impact now. So make sure you check the description below for our Discord channel, and also go into the Genshin Impact tab to ask questions and share your moments of Genshin Impact. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and also click the bell for more videos like this to come. As always, I wish you guys best of luck in Genshin and also have a great time exploring this beautiful world. I'll see you guys next time. Take care everyone.